Welcome to another episode of Football Talk with Shiftey. In this episode we look at the last instalment of the Handshake from Hell. Also we have all the football news and transfer news floating around, plus some great music at the end by my good friend DJ BigAngus. So let's get into it and let's kick it off.
And now it's time for Football Talk with Shiftey.
We start off the episode with the Africa Cup, where Zambia beat the Ivory Coast 8-7 on penalties after a goalless final. Wolverhampton manager Mick McCarthy has been sacked after being with the club for over 5 years. Keith Curle is set to become the new manager of Notts County. Now, news coming out of Arsenal, where there is increasing pressure on Arsene Wenger after the team's 4-0 loss to Milan in the Champions League. Word going around is that Pep Guardiola could make a shock move to manage the Gunners. Another manager under pressure is Andre Villas-Boas from Chelsea, who stated in the press that if Chelsea miss out on the Champions League next season, he will get the sack. Players have also been quoted as saying that they couldn't care less if Villas-Boas gets the sack. Pat attitude. And also senior players at Chelsea have stated that they would like to see Gus Hiddink return as manager. This came after Didier Drogba led the halftime talk in the tunnel, which puts Villas-Boas' position more in doubt. Hiddink was offered $8.3 million a season by Russian side Unzi to become their new manager, but looks like Hiddink could take the top job at Chelsea if he is offered it. If Harry Redknapp takes the top job of the English national team, he's hoping that Paul Scholes will agree to be in the squad for Euro 2012. Now, some big news regarding striker Demba Ba, who will keep 50% of any transfer fee that Newcastle get for the player. Now, Gold Coast United manager Miron Blyberg has walked away from his manager job after a huge falling out with billionaire owner Clive Palmer. Palmer have told Blyberg that he wanted a 17-year-old to be a standing captain, and when Blyberg gave his opinion on the matter, he was then suspended. Blyberg then decided to walk away as he felt disrespected and felt that he had been stripped of his dignity. Billionaire owner Palmer then went on to say that the A-League was a joke and football was a hopeless game. Now the owner could be stripped of his Gold Coast licence. Seriously, what a knob. Oh well. Now a bit of injury news. Arsenal's Lauren Koscielny will be out for about 2 weeks. Per Mertesacker from Arsenal could be out for about 2 months with ligament damage. John Terry could be back for the weekend's Premier League game, so a bit of good news for you Chelsea fans. Emmanuel Adebayor could be out for around 2 weeks with a knee injury, and defender Asu Ekotu could be out for around the same time due to minor surgery on his groin. Antonio Valencia will be out of action for around 4 weeks due to a hamstring injury. Also, some big news over in Germany, where Schalke striker Raul scored his 400th goal. So congratulations to Raul, still going strong. So that's all the news I have for you. We now go into the Handshake from Hell, Part 2, the finale. Well, we're back for the last instalment of the Handshake from Hell, and so it all continues. This story has been absolutely everywhere. If you're reading the paper, it's in there. If you're surfing the net, it's everywhere. If you're watching the TV, pops up like a bad commercial. At the moment, it looks like we just can't escape the Suarez Evra Handshake. So I've been doing a lot of reading in regards to the incident, and as people might already know, is that Luis Suarez and Kenny Dalglish have now apologised over the handshake debacle. The managing director Ian Ayre castigated the Uruguayan Suarez for his actions and forced him to apologise for misleading the club. when Suarez told Dalglish and the club that he would not snub Patrice Evra. Ian Ayre went on to say that Suarez had let down himself, Kenny Dalglish, his teammates, the club and all its fans. But as I said in the last episode, if a player feels he has done nothing wrong and has to wear the brunt of a punishment, which I'm not sure everyone knows the details of, then why should Suarez shake Evra's hand? One of the main points to bring out of the hearing of the Suarez and Evra case was that there was no real concrete evidence that Suarez did racially abuse Patrice Evra. The 8-match guilty verdict that Suarez received was clearly on a he said, she said basis. There were no witnesses that actually heard what Suarez said or didn't say. The only two that know that was what was said out there were Suarez and Patrice Evra. So with that, why did Suarez apologise? Did he do it to ease some pressure on the club and himself? Who knows? But one thing I'm certain of is that he was told to do it. And now that he has apologised, does that mean he is guilty? To me personally, no it doesn't. All it shows is a player who has his balls in a vice. But let's not look at Suarez as being an angel. He has damaged a great club with a reputation of over 120 years of glorious history. He has made Kenny Dalglish look like a complete fool by telling him on 2 occasions that he would shake the hand of Patrice Evra. Dalglish has always backed Suarez, and now Dalglish has egg on his face as Suarez is now being labelled a liar. And let's not forget that Suarez was banned at Ajax for 7 games for biting an opponent. Who would believe that a player who's been at Anfield for a little over a year could do so much damage to a great club? But let's not forget about Rio Ferdinand. Looking at the footage of the incident, will Rio Ferdinand apologise for his actions in not shaking Suarez's hand? To me, Rio Ferdinand is no better and also should have a case to answer. This was the second time that Rio had not shaken a player's hand, the other player being John Terry, who supposedly racially abused his brother. And I think it was a bit ironic that Ferguson thinks it's a disgrace and that Suarez should never play for Liverpool again. But it's okay that one of his own players, Roy Keane, who deliberately broke another player's leg, ending that player's career, and another one of his players thinking he is Kung Fu Panda and sidekicking a spectator, Eric Cantona. And let's not forget about the golden boy of United, Ryan Giggs, who slept with his own brother's wife. Dirty bastard. You never heard Ferguson suggest once that he would ever get rid of any of those players for their indiscretions. So I think Ferguson should worry about his own players instead of worrying who shouldn't be playing for Liverpool. But with that being said, it now looks like the whole saga will end as Manchester United have accepted the apology and said it wants to move on. Also, news coming out of Anfield is that the American owners who bought the club on its culture and traditions is being portrayed worldwide as immoral after defending Suarez for so long. John Henry and Tom Werner know their investment is at stake. You can't sell a brand in Africa, Asia or any other continent if you are condoning racism. It also doesn't help that major sponsors Standard Chartered has now stated in the press that they are disappointed that Suarez didn't shake Evra's hand. Liverpool now could lose the sponsor and could find it hard to find another if the situation isn't sorted out quickly. So with Liverpool now in damage mode, a sponsor who could pull the plug and a manager who has been betrayed, it now seems as though Luis Suarez might be shipped out in the summer. Time will tell. So is this the last we hear about it? Probably not, but we can only hope. So that ends the segment on the handshake from hell. We now go into all the transfer news. So here's all the latest transfer news going around, and we start off at Arsenal, where January target Lucas Podolski has opened the door to a move in the summer after claiming that his club Cologne have gone back on promises they made when he joined them back in 2009. Huge news coming out of France, where Lille midfielder Eden Hazard looks set to join Tottenham at the end of the season. It looks like Hazard will turn down offers from Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal and big spenders, Manchester City. Polish midfielder Radoslaw Majewski is set to quit Nottingham Forest for Reading to try and secure his place for Euro 2012. Reading are also interested in signing Manchester United forward Michael Owen. Interesting. Manchester City are lining up a move for Athletic Bilbao defender Xavi Martinez. The player will cost City around 25 million. Manchester United face an uphill battle as they try and land 22-year-old Benfica midfielder Nicolas Gautin. According to the papers, Manchester City are also interested in the player. Typical. Manchester United have made an approach to Borussia Dortmund in regards to signing their 19-year-old midfielder Mario Götze, who would be a great signing. Huge news coming out of London, where Luka Modric has stated that if he decides to leave Tottenham, it won't be for Chelsea but for Manchester United. That would definitely fix the midfield problem, and there won't be a need for Paul Scholes to hang around for another season. Manchester United and Chelsea could be set to fight it out over the signature of Barcelona defender Gerard Piqué. Chelsea are setting up a sensational swoop for Serbian forward Lazar Markovic. The striker will cost Chelsea around 14 million. And also, if Andre Villas-Boas is still around next season, he wants to line up a move for Atletico Madrid forward Radamel Falcao. Now, big news on Ronaldo, where the man himself has stated that if he wins the Spanish title, there is a good chance that he would love to go back to the EPL. As I have stated before, only one team can afford Ronaldo, and that's City. Arsenal, Everton and Liverpool are all interested in signing Anderlecht striker Matheus Suarez. No relation to Luis Suarez. And as I have stated before in the handshake from hell, Luis Suarez is very unhappy at how he has been treated in England, and it looks as though Italian side Palermo is considering a bid for Luis Suarez in the summer. So that's it, that's the episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out my Facebook fan page for all the stuff that didn't make the show on Football Talk with Shiftey. And hang around and listen to some cool tunes by one of my favourite DJs, DJ BigAngus. And last but definitely not least, you know the drill. It's grab your friends, grab your family, grab your kids, head down the park and kick a goal.